We love the Hackverse.
Hacker.
I mean, but you mean, what did you read, my Patreon?
Yeah.
I mean,
We heard you're shutting it down.
I shut it down, and this is the way I look at it.
No, but we weren't snooping. Somebody super chatted that you were done, and so we thought it was funny because we know you had just done a show with Ray, and we have an expression here: you get DeVito'd if you do.
Well, Ray didn't really have anything to do with it, to be honest. Ray and I had half of the show was a little fucked up, and then it started to get on a normal path. And it was most of his fans. I don't have a lot of fans.
You have more than Ray.
No, he had more than me. Because when I went on the next night without him, it was a lot of the same people, just not a lot of super chats, a lot more super chats when he was on. And I just came to a conclusion that I get what this whole style of podcasting is. Like, your show is the right format for the StreamYard, YouTube, like you said, Mike and the Mad Dog style broadcast. I didn't know what kind of broadcast I wanted to do, which is a huge mistake. But I thought I was going to figure it out slowly. I was 28 episodes in. I still didn't really figure out what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, but when you started out, it was kind of a different thing. You were in the studio. It was more of a formal kind of sit down thing. So
yeah, but
really
even
the live thing was only maybe 5, 6 episodes.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we probably did about 6 to 8 of those. But even then, I didn't. At least like when I did Fixing Joe, I knew what the show was. Here's my problem. That format of show would work great in this YouTube format where people are giving their advice, even if it's retarded, stupid advice. It's still, at least there's a theme that is going. But to just turn the cameras on and talk with my personality, it ran its course so fast that I was like, I'd rather do nothing than have just people shitting on me, like there was no regular comments coming in. It was like Joe's dunk tank, and I was like,
it's skewed negative.
And that the Ray episode was the one that kind of enlightened you, would you say, or no?
Well, no, because it didn't happen as bad as it did maybe the next episode and episodes before Ray.
Gotcha.
Whereas, Ray's, believe it or not, you guys, he's pretty good at the format because he does it a lot. Like, you start to get it when you do it a lot. And he has it, even though he's a target like I am, he at least knows how to talk about the stuff that they want to hear about. Whereas I'm coming in, I don't know shit about any of the Stuttering John and Levy. I don't know anything about them. So if I'm going to do a show where people are writing, I was just like, this doesn't work for me. This isn't what I want to do. I'd rather do nothing. If they'd have to be paying me like $5,000 in super chats per episode for me to just take negative shit and no other comments, and we're just interacting. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, Stuttering John, he's like a big part of this, and he takes a beating, but now he does his own show. He started doing his own show on a regular basis, and then according to this website or John's Neglected Cat, Stuttering John's actually making some money now, because people. It's almost like they like to super chat him to let him know, even if they don't like him, they let him know they don't like him, and then after a while they kind of warm up to you, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I understood that too, and I could tell that some of the people are, how like comedians, I always say, like, when someone is slamming you and being funny versus when a comedian will slam you and it's just like he's being a dick, and now you want to get in a fight with the guy. There's a difference. So it's the same with the fan base here. There's some people that write really hilarious things and really mean hilarious things, and they're funny. And then there's other people that you just feel like someone, someone called a club on 2 days ago and tried to cancel my dates down in Key West, and it all mixed into this whole thing. So when I start interacting with this world is when people start making fake accounts, they start canceling my gigs, they start doing that other shit too. I've always been like a target in my life, but there's something about me that makes people want to really fuck me up.
You wish you had a rich wife. You wish you had an attractive rich wife with medical insurance. You 5'1" midget.
If you're somebody that comes with baggage, if we book you, it doesn't help you get bookings easier. If there's a headache mixed into having you, and there's a possible headache, it's bad for business.
Right.
So You know, it's like dating a girl that's dad used to beat the shit out of her and she says she's over it, but she's not over it. You could feel it when you're having sex with her. There's something fucking wrong. So
That's for
the
another
Wow.
episode.
ultimately, but
Quite an
ultimately,
analogy.
but ultimately, creatively, things have to like fit me creatively for me to want to do them and to go into it without, and like if I had an idea that worked for this YouTube.
Yeah, but Joe, hold on. I mean, you've been through like 10 or 15 different Joe Matarese podcast versions.
Yeah.
So even with this, it's like I'm only going by like the sorcerer is like obsessed with you, and he's a professional
Sorcerer
psychiatrist.
just messaged me now and says that he can absolutely fix this.
No,
Well,
he's obsessed. He's
Like right
obsessed
now,
with you.
he just said
He's obsessed with you, and Porsalin's obsessed with you. So you do have an appeal. Like even if it's like not 100% positive, you
Right.
do have an appeal. So for you to just go like, this is not working, this doesn't feel comfortable, like, but it eventually will. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm saying like for you like, okay, like it'd be like if you started as a comic and you did 3 open mics and you're like,
Right.
oh, I didn't like that show. It's like, okay, you're gonna get better at it, and then the crowd's gonna like. I'm just using Stuttering John. Everybody hates Stuttering John a year ago, and now he's here, and now and even if people troll him, he's still making money, and now he's starting to win over fans, probably just because he's just taking a beating and he's just taking it well, and now people are just being like, you know, Stuttering John's like you're a great comic. I can say you're a great comic. Stuttering John was great on the Howard Stern show. You're a great comic, so there's no reason for you to not like have fans at this as well, even if they're just like trying to, you know, troll you, but in a funny way. For the most part, the superstars are trying to be funny, at least here, you know. And Joe, you quitting was the best thing you ever did because now everyone's like obsessed with you even more. They're like, wait, no, he can't quit. It's like quitting the mafia. You can't quit. So everyone became intrigued. Adam was reading the Patreon statements. We're like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like the guy's gonna quit. And then we thought you got vetoed. So the more anti you are, the more the fans like gravitate towards you.
It was
I do hear you, and I do think Sorcerer has a point, which is why does Joe need to go in and go out and go in and go out? He would probably say that, or he would say, why did he try to do so many shows? He was fine with doing it once a week. Why didn't he just do it like that and let it slowly build? He's trying to build it too fast. Like, so weirdly, I go to you like you're my mentor in this game. And I realized after the smoke cleared, after I went and deleted every fucking episode from anywhere you could see them.
It was incredible.
I took every clip down.
No, it's incredible that you're like, I'm done. I'm deleting everything.
Right.
We were very impressed over here.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what? You know what made me do
amazing.
that? What made me really delete everything was my show sucked. I was like, I'm bad at this. I stink. Unless there's something. It was easy to go.
Yeah, but
on
Joe,
with,
it's almost like when you admit you're an alcoholic, like that was like a breakthrough for you. It's like, I
Right.
stink at this. It was almost just like that's what everybody was like, wanted to like embrace you and go like, yeah, Joe, you do stink. Just accept that, and that's your show. I stink at this.
But keep going because you'll push through.
And
You'll
then
push
the
past it.
fans will surround you because again, you're better than Ray, and Ray stinks, and Ray still makes money, and you're a great comic. So I'm saying like the fact that you said you deleted everything. Listen, everybody, you got everybody's attention when you're like, I delete everything's gone from his channel. I think Adam, we were live, and Adam's like, everything's gone from his channel.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar. Like I knew as soon as DeVito accidentally doxed my cell number, I knew immediately afterwards because I'm slowly figuring out how this all works. I'm like, they're going to love to talk about this. And if we do an episode now, everybody's going to want to watch. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So it's like anything. It's one of those good is bad and bad is good.
Mhm.
If you go on stage and bomb and show the video, it's better than showing a video of it all going well and you kill. Like that's
because nobody cares if you did well. It's boring. Every clip is you're doing well. The point is the fans enjoy it, and like the reality is most podcasts are this exact same. Comics sitting around talking about comedy. Nobody gives a fuck. So this is different in the sense that like the fans are very active, and also we're not talking about comedy. We're talking about you know we're not boring people with like good-natured ribbing, and you know so it's real feelings. Like even you quitting. What I'm saying is you quitting the other day was like, well, he quit, and Adam's like he deleted everything, and we're like, what? It was almost like you disappeared from show business, you know, and we're like, wow, that's very extreme. to us, it was like impressive. And as far as like, it garners a lot of attention.
Well, like I said, I like coming on your show and talking about all this stuff. I love it. It's fun. This is fun. I don't mind when they're writing shit in and saying I sucked. This is fun. It's the same with stand-up. The only reason I've never quit stand-up in my over 30 years of doing it, there's never been a week that I quit. I never got out of the stand-up game. It was always kind of fun. And if it's fun, I'm always in. I don't like any job that feels like work. And when I was turning the cameras on by myself and trying to do episodes, I couldn't even think of what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, that's hard anyway. That's
This
Right.
is
show by
fun.
yourself, especially when you don't have a lot of fans. You know, if you have 20 people watching you, it's like, what am I even fucking doing? And then your wife is knocking on the fucking ceiling, and you're like, what are you doing up there? You're like, I don't even know. You know, it's like I come out of the room here, my wife's like, how the show goes. She at least knows more than 20 people are watching, and I'm making a little bit of money, you know. So, but if I sitting back here talking to 20 people and making no money, she'd be like, "Are you insane?" Like she would literally have a problem with it.
Well, I've said this to you before. I'm totally in for literally going, hey, Kevin, what should I do? And I'll just do it. Because
That's not how. Joe. That's not how it works, Joe. Though.
Well, I mean, I don't. Maybe it would.
All you got to do is show up. Listen.
How many times a week do I got to turn the fucking thing? And what am I talking about?
Twice.
You just do it gradually. I'm saying if the sorcerer is a smart guy. Porsalin's a genius. I mean, like if these guys are obsessed with you, there's something to your personality that's fascinating to people. Even if the regular people who aren't brilliant, they probably you have an appeal to them as well. They might not understand it like Porsalin does or the sorcerer, but they get something about you that
I know
whatever it is.
I know what it is.
Don't even say what it is. You'll ruin it. You'll spoil it. It's like when a girl tells you why she's so hot. Just shut the fuck up. Just be hot. Don't tell us why you're hot. Just be hot. You'll ruin it by saying you're hot.
Another problem with mine is my life has constraints. I have a wife who doesn't want me to talk much about her. That's a huge. And
we get it. She's been on the documentaries. We get it.
It's very hard. So and then she'll go, don't talk about your kids, and then I can't.
Yeah, I don't talk about my kids either.
Right, but even if there's something crazy that just happened that day with my son, I can't talk about it, or my daughter, I can't talk about it. And then if I talk about my dad or my mom or some shit that they did, they're pissed at me. They'll find out. It's like why Howard Stern got when he was the best is when he got divorced.
Right.
It's very hard to do this and then I'm telling my wife, like, these fans are canceling my gigs. She's like, what the fuck are you talking to them for? We've already gone through this. They're not good
but
people.
They didn't cancel. They tried to cancel them. They're not going to cancel them.
So it's one of those things where you go, you know, you get confused with you go, what am I all about? My career or being happy in life? And like, how do I find a happy mix? That's everybody's goal in life. How can I live a happy life and still make a decent living and like what I'm doing? And as a comedian, it's really hard because I'm a way more interesting guy if I'm off my meds for podcasting, not for stand-up though. Because I can tell, like, it takes something bad has to happen for me to even come across excited. Like right now I have emotion while I'm talking, but normally when nothing's going on, I'm like, hi everybody, what are you guys doing today? And it's like so fucking boring. Like,
yeah, but Joe, even being on the podcast now is going to help your show tonight because you're active, you know, your mind's thinking. So it's like, that's another reason why podcasts, like I learned that myself. Like I would do a podcast on a Friday. I would go to the comedy clubs and I would just be like ready to go because I've been talking and my brain's working. So, you know, to just go like, I'm just going to do this. Podcasting is good for comedy, but I'm saying, I understand the wife stuff and the family stuff, but like, you don't have to go into too much detail. I think the audience is more interested in you because like, you're like successful Ray, you know, like Ray DeVito's an absolute fucking abysmal failure, but you have credits. You're a way better comic than Ray. And I'm just shitting on Ray because he deserves it. But like, so you're like Ray 2.0. You're just better. So they're interested in you, but also because you're a little bit of a fucking mental case, so they're interested in that too. So you have the combination of like you're a good comic, but you're also a mental case. So for the fans watching, it's intriguing for them.
I get it.
You could watch the Porsalin documentaries, and people would be obsessed with it. If you watched your Porsalin documentaries, you could start from there. It's like it'd be incredible. Like the documentaries are great, and if you just watch them. If it just shows you watching yourself on the Porsalin documentaries, people would be like, they would be obsessed with your take on it.
Well, I had planned on doing that because I had an episode last week where I was telling them how I disagreed with a lot of the stuff on the doc, and then I admitted that I actually didn't really watch any of the docs all the way through. I said I
did. I watched them all three times.
Isn't that crazy though? So many people have watched those things except for Joe.
The sorcerer has watched them at least probably, I think, all 5 times. So like they're first of all, they're incredibly well done. And just watching you, I mean,
my
there's
problem
a good jumping off point right there. Just you don't have to enjoy every minute of it, but like people like you around. Again, Porsalin made 3 documentaries for a reason. Ask Porsalin why he made 3 documentaries. Ask the sorcerer why he's like obsessed with you. And the sorcerer was the one like, you got to get Joe on your show because I'm obsessed with him. This guy's a professional a psychiatrist.
He's an award-winning psychiatrist.
Award-winning, one of the top in the Eastern Seaboard, and he's like Joe Matarese. He's like obsessed with you. So there's a reason.
Well, think about it.
Nobody's obsessed with Stevie Lou.
Dude, I'm married to a psychologist, and I'm still fucked up. So I mean that shows.
Listen, the mechanic's wife, still has trouble with her car.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're.
Thank you, Adam.
You
just freaked Stevie out right there.
That was pretty heavy.
You must be pretty high because that was not not a huge stretch of an analogy.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I was going to say.
Whatever you want to call it.
I was going to say that I'm so crazy that when Mike from Red Bar and this other person signed up for my Patreon in the last day, I had already deleted the whole thing. So I was like,
how'd they sign up if you're deleted?
Because there's a 2-week period where it takes till it's completely really gone. They make it like it's almost like they're like, are you sure?
Yeah, it's like Facebook. They won't let you. They won't let you delete the. They're like, no, you got to sign a waiver. We think you lost your mind if you want to cancel Facebook.
Yeah. So now I don't know because I'm like, well, Mike from Red Bar just joined.
Joe, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Do your stand up.
But I already canceled my Patreon. What do I turn it back on again?
Don't worry about it.
Absolutely, man. This is a great turn.
If they give you a 2-week window, turn it back on.
I don't know if I can. I thought I was going to get in trouble from everybody because they love to shit on you if you don't give them what they're due on the Patreon. They'll be like, "What the fuck? I paid. How can you can't cancel it?" You know what?
You gotta go with the flow, but you can't overthink it because if you overthink it, you'll be like, okay, I got to do it this way or that way. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
Let me explain something. Here's a major factor, and you would say that's why I don't take them. When you take Celexa 20 milligrams, the antidepressant that I take to take my anxiety and my anger issues away, it's not as easy to turn on a mic and have emotion. I'm flatlined. So the last thing you want to do when you're on an antidepressant, when you don't have a strong feeling about something that you want to talk about, is be on camera and talk. You'd rather just go lay it down. Like,
okay, but you don't have to do. You're not doing a show every day. You're doing a show once a week.
That's the problem. That's why I quit, because I was trying to do 4 a week. It was like I used to say, Artie Lang. The problems Artie Lang had. The worst thing you could do as a depressed person is try to do morning radio 5 days a week for 5 hours at a time. There's no way to do that.
That's Howard Stern, where he's making a shitload of money. As soon as you quit, people are like, "How fucking dare you?"
Right.
The fact that you're putting out statements was the funniest thing we had a lot of things happen this week. The fact that you're putting out a statement and then a follow-up statement about why you're quitting, it was incredible.
My favorite part though was how you mentioned, "Don't try to talk me out of it."
I did.
Yeah, like you're on the GW bridge.
It's like a suicide note.
I made my mind up. Do not.
No, it was fucking insane.
You said if you have any suggestions for me, I would love to hear them, but not if you're going to try to talk me out of it.
Leave.
Yeah, tell your people I'm going to be in Atlantic City the next 3 days.
You're there right now.
Tell them you're talking to them.
Tell your people. You tell them.
Okay. Well, I didn't want.
Joe's a great comic. Listen, I say that like almost with envy because every time I see Joe on the TikTok or Instagram or wherever, I'm like, Joe's got great bits. They're great bits. So if you go see Joe, you're not going to be like, this guy stinks. You're going to be like, this guy's a very solid comic. This guy is very good at comedy, stand-up comedy. So go see him. Go ahead, do your plugs. Right. Tell everybody it's your last show, like you're taking down your YouTube channel. People are like, what the hell's going on over here? Even Red Bar's like, huh?
Yeah, they must think did you told them that I quit stand-up too?
No, but Red Bar's signing up for your Patreon. That's incredible.
He did that the last time I had a Patreon. He likes to play chess. That's so he can make fun of it, so he can see what's on.
Yeah, but still, the fact that the one way to get interest is to be like, I'm out, and they're like, not so fast. That's literally what they're saying. All right, thanks, Joe. Whatever, but but the fact that he's doing a Patreon statements and Adam's reading it like it's a fucking like it's the fucking Gettysburg Address, and it's like Joe deleted everything on it. I texted Joe. I'm like, Joe, this is the most attention you've ever gotten. They should really try to capitalize on it.
2 seconds later.
Joe put up a on his Patreon already. He changed just hold on.
Oh, he put up on his Patreon. He changed his mind.
Yeah, beloved sent it to me. Hey everyone! After talking to Kevin Brennan on MLC podcast, today I decided to come back on the air and just do my podcast once a week. Still live, but just once a week.
Everyone's disappointed now that he's not quitting.
It may be live during the daytime when my kids are in school. Like, I love that he's explaining everything to, like,
Nobody
they didn't
cares.
already
Just do it or don't do it.
and they all just heard it on here.
Right, right.
Stay tuned for
Jesus Christ. The turn. What does that mean, the turn? What does that mean, the turn? The turn.
Have you heard about our Lord